Hey everybody, time to get started. Mess around with this microphone. All right, so we had some technical challenges today. As always, wow, that looks cool on my arm right there. That's my green screen not working very well. It's too dark in here is the problem, and I got to sort that out. There's things I got to do, but you know what? Fighting with this green screen is like on the list. I gotta do. It's right. It's down. Anyway, the technical issues were, as always, so yesterday we played multiplayer. Ben and I played a game of multiplayer. It was relatively fun and good, and everything sort of seems to work. I'm supposed to turn down my gain. I don't know. Does that sound better? Are we better now? So anyway, I don't even know what gain is. I turned down my microphone. I don't know. Maybe that helps. There's so many things I don't know. So anyway, yesterday we played multiplayer and everything sort of works. Everything's kind of cool. And I'm like, all right, great. Let's play multiplayer tomorrow. That'll be fun. And then today we have a new version because that's what you do in game development is every day you make a new version. So I play it, I look at it, everything looks fine. But the reason we had to move the live stream back 2 hours was because Ben had some stuff to do, so Ben was not available. So suddenly Ben is available, and now that Ben's available, I'm like, hey Ben, why don't you hop on? Let's make sure to test everything and make sure it works. And of course, on the day where you're going to stream it, the multiplayer that worked yesterday didn't work today. So we're like, what do we do? And we're messing with it. Adrian's like, I don't know, try this, and we're throwing executables back and forth, and that's how it is. That's development. That's just like what development is, and that's what happens. So anyway, we fought with that for a while, and the final end answer was screw it, let's play yesterday's build. And we tested that works on the server. So there's actually a bunch of stuff in this that's broken that we already know that's broken, that some of it's fixed, some of it's not fixed, but you're seeing a 24-hour old build instead of the absolute latest today's build. I apologize for that. It's just how it is in development sometimes. Anyway, next step of the process, in theory, Ben, if you can come join me in the, what room? I'm going to keep it because it's a developer thing and because we're recording this and I don't want someone to like jump on in the middle of this and be like, I'm going to keep this on a private Discord channel so no one else can join. Ben, come join me over in Kothia and let's see if that works. So theoretically, Ben should be joining me in Discord any moment now. Hey. Private Discord channel so no one else can join. Ben, come join me over in Kothia. All right, and Ben, put some headphones on.
Is it too loud?
No, it's great, except that I can hear myself on your Twitch. You're watching me, so I'm getting a me delayed by like 20-second whatever.
I just muted you.
But okay, fair enough. Now you don't get, but I guess you don't really need to hear me because you can hear me. It's all good if you just mute it. It's all fine now. All right, so now step 1, got to build it work. Step 2, I got a creepy Malaysian animator on Discord. Step 3, let's go look at the game. Theoretically that works. It works. Okay, so there's the game. For those of you who remember, this is our game. It's Last Regiment. It's very pretty. I'm trying to think what we've done in the last 2 weeks that I should talk. Actually, I do want to, before we get started multiplayer, I do want to talk about one thing. Having a creepy Malaysian in voice chat is always a crucial step. That is true. We like our creepy Malaysians around here. Actually, for those of you who don't know, this game is actually a very heavily Malaysian game. The sort of core team is me, Ben, Adrian, Edwin, and I guess Erwin. And so out of those 5, you got an American, 2 Malaysians, and 2 Filipinos. So this is actually a very Malaysian team for us. The Ben-Adrian combination is like old school boom zap Malaysians. I forgot Uncle June. I feel bad. So let's see. You've got Uncle June, Edwin, Erwin are our Filipinos on the title, and then we've got Adrian and Ben from Kuala Lumpur, and we've got me in Japan from America. So there's that. All right, Ben, can you say some more stuff so we make sure we can hear you all right?
I'm here.
All right, can everyone hear Ben? I hope everyone can hear Ben. All right, so I want to show you something that we did. This is our very first cut of the Choose Your Regiment screen. And so this is not done. This is not final. We're still messing around with it, but we needed something to get up and working. Because one of the big parts of the game, obviously, is all about building your sort of deck, your regiment, right? So we can see over on the right-hand side here, bottom right, this is the regiment that I'm building. And you'll notice a bunch of these are sort of black squares that say Fact 01, Unit 0 something. What those are is those are our placeholders for art that we don't have yet. So sooner or later, all of those will be replaced with pretty art. But for the moment, just so we can see everything moving around, we put in some thumbnails of what the internal names of all of these are. So Unit 1 from Faction 1, etc. Up here in the upper left-hand side, you can see here's the various factions. And Ben, by the way, we do need to actually put somewhere the title of the faction. I don't actually have that written anywhere here, but you should probably tell me which faction I'm looking at when I'm looking at it. Things to do in the new UI. So Faction 1, for instance, is the Red Keep faction, which is a faction of people from a large fortress at the edge of Kothia, where the elves and the humans have been working together to kind of begin their reclamation of the ancient land of Kothia. Faction 2, for instance, is Ivoria, which is magical jungle people that are led by an evil sorcerer deep in a jungle, and they've got lots of monkey warriors. So that's where all the monkeys come from. So you've also got Faction 3. Which one's Faction 3? Faction 3 is... what is this? Oh, this is Silverwood, which is the ancient elven kingdom, which has been overgrown by weird wild spawn units and that sort of thing. We have Faction 4, which is our Dark Talon, which is another forest that's inhabited by magic-hating goblins, and they're vicious little goblins. And we go on. There's other factions. Right now, we've got the first 6 that we're playing with, factions 1 through 6. Those are sort of our, as we're building the game, get everything working, first factions. We'll then add some more factions to that later as we move on. But anyway, as you can see, I've got each one of these different factions, and then each faction comes with heroes, and it comes with units, right? And the idea behind the heroes is these are sort of super powerful, heavy-duty people that come from factions. Each faction has a limited number of heroes. I think right now we're playing with everyone's got 1 hero per faction, but I don't know. Maybe we'll have a faction later that's like a special faction with 2 heroes or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. But for right now, every faction's got 1 hero. So if I look at, here we go. This is the first faction. Actually, I want to look at what's a good faction. Faction 2 is a good one. So Faction 2, this is Ivoria. The hero is the Hand of Zangor, and you can see each one of the different units have different powers, as we've talked about. So he's got his power of increasing resources and ability to do better defending, and he creates a cloud of death and kind of cool stuff like that. Does this game have pets? I don't... You know, if you wanted to call some of the units pets, you could call them pets, if that felt good to you. We have a lot of monkeys. They make good pets. We have a dog in here. Where's the dog? He's in Palava. Well, you could be the Houndmaster. He has a pet. Look at that. He's got a cool 3-headed Cerebus dog with gas masks. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. Anyway, going back to the thing. So you got different heroes and different units. Here's all your different units. And so, basically, when you put your stuff together, you're going to be able to choose any 3 factions. And you'll be able to choose units from those 3 factions. Now, I've already put together... the beginning of my own regiment. I've brought the Major. I like the Major along. Major Carl. He's got some cool abilities. I'm bringing along my Leopard Scouts. They're my early go out and scout the land scouty guys. I'm bringing along some militia. Why do I have the militia in here? I don't like the militia. So I'm going to remove the militia. I don't want the chainsaw shock troops. They suck. I do want these cuirassiers. Again, they got the double movement. They're pretty good utility melee unit, kind of scouting melee unit. I've got my Griffin Dragoons. These guys actually fly, and you know, they're on Griffins and they have guns. And so, you know, flying guns, that's a cool thing to have. I got my horse artillery because you know, horses that have artillery, they move fast and they shoot things. That's cool. I'm bringing along the Pyromancer because she's got all the cool spells. I got 4 more slots left. I'm going to bring along these Monkeys Riding Monkeys because they're a good unit. I'm also going to go down to the Ruma faction, and I think the Ruma faction has the Dragoons. There they are. They're actually my boys. I like the dragoons because they're like my all purpose. They move fast. They got guns. They're relatively strong. They're pretty cool. I like the dragoons. What do I bring for the other 2 units? Let's see. I think I want to bring some of those just because I want to test them. I don't think they're going to be of any value in this map. But we have where are they? My not the dragoons. Wait, I'm confused. Here, the amphibious squid. I'm gonna bring the giant amphibious squid. And then let's see. I need 1 more unit. I think I'll bring that mage from. Right now, we actually don't have it set up to limit you to only 3 factions. That's something else we've got to do in the UI and sort out later. So right now, I've actually got a bunch of different dudes from different factions. I've got what, Ivoria, Red Keep, and I forget. I've got some other factions in here, so I shouldn't be able to use so many. But anyway, that's the squad I'm bringing. I will save and exit. So let's check out multiplayer. Yay, my army's been saved. Again, forgive the placeholder UI. A lot of this is still being worked on. Is a riot with only 1 person considered a riot? All right, so Ben, you want me to host or you want to host?
Oops, I was joining.
Okay, I'll host.
Okay.
All right, so again, placeholder, crappy UI. Don't look at that too hard. This is just we needed something to get everything to work. Now I gotta wait and connect to the network for a while. We'll play the medium woodland level, which is, this is a placeholder level that we've been doing just for testing. You can see everything right now. You shouldn't be able to see everything while it's loading. That's a bug, but we got a lot of bugs. We're early in development. Note, by the way, look, new fog of war, new fancy clouds. I'm not totally sold on the new fancy clouds just yet. I think they still need a little bit more work. I think the little misty bit there at the, I think needs a little help, but it's kind of cool. All right, another bug right now, when you start, you don't have any resources, so you have to end your turn to get your resources. Again, that's something that we know about and we're fixing. All right, so off we go. I got 18 gold. I got 12 mana. I got my boys over here that I can get out. I think we're gonna start with these leopard scouts because they move pretty quick and they're pretty cheap. And I'll bring some of these cuirassiers, these elk elves. Those will be like my let's go out and find some territory opening dudes. The good God, the clouds. The humidity must be terrible. Yeah, it's a very humid world. All right, boom. All right, my guys show up. You'll notice I can see a little further now because they've got a longer... I grabbed 2 scouting units. So when you look at the units, you can see down here, here's all their powers. Later on, there'll be pretty art there, so you'll see like a little picture of what Farsight looks like and a little picture of what Defend looks like. And you can click on each one of these. We actually have adjusted it a little bit. Now, everything goes down here in this bottom left-hand corner. So... for instance, later on, if I cast a spell on these leopard scouts to make them doubly strong or something like that, all of that stuff will show up down here in that bottom corner. Ben, I'm hearing myself through you. Can you do something? Turn me down or put on some headphones or something? It's annoying.
Okay.
So yeah, there's that. So yeah, as I click through these, I can see what each one of these do. So for instance, my cuirassiers here, they everyone in the game defends. Everyone has the ability to defend, and so right now it's not an active ability. I want to change it to make it more like Kalasia, where you can actually click it and boom, okay, you defend. So you know that you're doing that. But essentially, if you don't move, you're defending, and that gives you some extra bonus, whatever. I'm hearing myself through you. It's very romantic. All right, let's move these dudes. You guys are sick of hearing me talking and want to see me move. You go up there and take that. Let's have you run down and do your business. Do your business down here. Actually, I don't want to go that way. I want to go straight into the clouds. Into the clouds. Why, thanks for the host, Black Nitride. Up to 5 viewers. I like the up to 5 viewers because you know 1 viewer is up to 5 viewers. Thanks, Nitride. All right, so let's go take this over. Another change we made recently. It used to be that when you landed on something, you auto took it over. We don't now. Now you got to plant your little flag. Those of you who played Kalasia will remember the joy of planting flags. Bring out the monkeys. The monkeys. All right, and I shouldn't be able to. Why am I able to? I should not be. Okay, that's just it's being silly and showing me I can place more monkeys. And I think it's actually I'm going to bring her out because it's time to bring some magic into this whole game. Another fun thing we added is there's a next unit button now. I've moved all my units, but if I hadn't told everyone what to do yet, I could click this button up here, and that will actually cycle me through the units I haven't moved yet. The reason you would not take something over is the same reason you wouldn't take something over in Kalesia, which is I got places to go. So you're actually going to have to burn a turn to hang out there and take that thing over. So it's got that same sort of feeling of, all right, am I in a hurry to go do stuff, or am I going to take some stuff over? So I took that over. Let's go down here. There's a bug. There's some big mountains right here you can't see. It would be prettier if the mountains were there, but you can't see them now. All right, you're going to go down there. Hey, big monkey, go do what you're going to do. Go do your monkey business. Your monkey business. All right. I am not using all of my control points. I've got many more control points to spend. Let's spend them by getting some new dudes. All right. Yeah, I'm throwing around the idea of the problem is right now in the game. This is to Merlin's question. In Kalesia, it also cut all your units' defense by 50% for the duration of the capture. I liked that in Kalesia. That was cool. The issue right now is we're kind of doing movement and combat last because we wanted to do things that you are doing first, like missile fire. We may play around with that as we move on. Actually, don't do that, monkeys. Take that over. Because of that exact reason, that it might be cooler to say, hey, this you being able to take over this thing, maybe that's something that you can interrupt, but if you need to be able to interrupt it, then it needs to happen in the cycle. You know, one of the things that we're struggling with a little bit in this game, we actually had a huge fight last week about movement. And the fight that we had about movement last week was, what order does everything move in? And originally it was the case that, for instance, this elk guy down here, he would move first. Like, let's say we had a guy that had 2 moves and a guy that has 1 move. And we said, well, you know what? It makes sense that the faster guy should move first. So let's have all the guys who move 2 move their move first, and then let's have all the guys who move 1 move their move after the guys who move 2 move their first one. So it would be like guys who move 2 units first go, and then 2 units plus 1 units go. And that made sense on paper, but when we actually put it into the game, it was really confusing when you had stuff like, okay, I want this guy to move here, and I want this guy to move here, so he's going to move here, and then it was really some complicated brain math to figure out who moved where and when. And we realized that it was exactly this kind of complicated brain math that made people hate Kalesia, not all people, but some people, because it was just difficult for them to figure out who did what when. So we changed it. So now basically, if you've got a move of 3 or a move of 2 or a move of 1 or whatever, everyone takes their first move. Then everyone who's got a move left takes their next move. Then everyone who's got a move left takes their next move. And when we changed it to that model, suddenly the game made a lot more sense. Which, you know, when you were moving stuff around, we kind of were like, oh, all right, now you can actually, when you look at a really complicated situation of a bunch of guys all in the same place, all trying to move, you could relatively easily figure out, this is when this guy moves, this is when that guy moves. And until we made that change, it was actually very difficult to figure out who was going where when. So that was one of the lessons of last week, and that actually ate up a couple days last week as we were building to redo that. But that's kind of the thing that people don't get about game development, is this idea that, you know, you're going to write this game design doc and you're going to sit, and in the game design doc you're going to figure out everything that, you know, here's exactly the game we're going to make, and I've thought about all the possible situations that could be a problem, and I've resolved all of them, and this is how it's going to be. And so it's not like that. That's not how game development works. You look at stuff on paper and everyone looks at it and everyone thinks it's a good idea, and then you put it together and you're like, yeah, that's not nearly as cool as I thought it was going to be. And that's just, you just have to deal with the fact that that's part of making games. It's a frustrating part of making games. It's an irritating part of making games, but it's part of making games. I have not found Ben yet. I don't know what you're doing over there, Ben. But I will. I don't know who you are or where you are, but I will find you. I have skills. I have special skills honed after literal weeks of playing this game. All right, let's see. You do that. And that's good. Do I think a gorilla is as fast as a leopard? Over the long haul, yeah. Like a leopard can run really fast for like a little short period of time, but then, you know, they slow down. Yeah, I mean, like you say, Merlin, it would be interesting to have a series of damage abilities that interrupt captures, and that's one thing that we need to look at is there such a thing as an ability that are there actions that you take that take the whole turn to make them happen? And I think there's a reasonably good case for those. The question is, how do we make those in a way that's cool? I'm gonna make me a squid because I've not made a squid yet. So that's one thing that we have to play with. But it's all about the turn order and how we make the turn order work. And you know the hard part for all this is always in the, you know, you can make it, we can make anything do anything. It's the question of, does the player get what we're doing? Do they understand what order things happen in? How do we display things to the player? This is our lifetime challenge for the game. All right. Ben's got to be over here somewhere. He's on the other side of that river. Aha! I have my first sighting of Ben. Ow! Well, and he died with whatever that unit was. I don't know what that unit was. If I had a picture, I would have known. But take that, Ben. Oh, dude, did I forget? I forgot to take my own property. I got to remember to do that. Bad me. I forgot to take that, too. We'll go back and do that. I'm just not a very good game player. It's hard to concentrate on playing a game and talk to people at the same time. Did I forget to take that too? I suck at games. Why do I suck so hard at video games? For the video game designer, you would think I would be better at this. Hey! Why does my amphibious squid not go in the water? That's the sort of thing squids are supposed to do, squid. What's wrong with you, squid? Well, I am very disappointed in that squid. Yeah, so you just saw me move a unit into a fog of war, but the movement thingy on it showed that you were moving onto a road, so you get bonus movement should you able to see that through the fog of war. That's actually an interesting question, and it's something, it's one of the many things that we're playing around with to kind of try to figure out how fog of war works. There is a good case to be made for you can only move one hex into a fog of war, or you're stopped at a fog of war because reasons. There's another case to be made for everything in a fog of war has a larger movement value. There's a good question to be made about how do you, because I can actually ascertain whether I tell you or not. I can ascertain, oh, look, you can move further that way into the fog of war. The other thing is, if you move too far into a fog of war, it's a little weird because you're like, wow, I went right past that city. If I'd known that city was there, I would not have walked past it. But of course you walked past it because you didn't know it was there. That's your problem. So these are things that we have to address in a more sort of large sense. I'm not sure the quick answers to these things. All right, you've got some abilities. Do some of them. Oh, but you're in the way. All right, no, wait. I want you to... Oh, wait, that doesn't work. She can actually transform into stuff, but in the build last night, the transform was broken, so I can't make her do that. Smog of war. Their cities produce smog that hides them. It's actually kind of a cute idea. I hadn't thought about a making fog of war unit. That's something we should add. Whether or not it's a dwarf, well, that's a question of a different color. Where's my next unit? All right, you need to. What have you been doing up? Have I been ignoring you this whole game? You need to go do stuff. All right, you get up in there. Wait, why do these monkeys don't have jungle whatever? No, they don't. I should give them jungle whatever so they move through the jungle faster. Alright, my dragoons. I love my dragoons. I should just make nothing but dragoons. They're the awesomes. See, look, I suck. I forgot to take that over. Alright. Off we go. Alright, now you. Take that over like a man. Alright, who's next? You. You've finally taken that over. We've got some more points. Aha! Ben has put his sharpshooters in the tower. That's not good. You. What are you gonna do? You know what? Just go do it. Go take her out. No fear. No fear. You know what to do. Have I got any, what can I build? I can build more dragoons. You know I love me some dragoons. Who's left? Yeah, you, monkey. You know what to do. You know what to do, monkey. Alright, can you make nothing but dragoons, or can you only have X amount of a certain unit now? So, good question. So, the way we're handling this right now is the same, sort of the same way that World of Warcraft handles things. So if you look down here, you see that little 3 and that little 2 on those 2 units. That's a cooldown. So I can have as many of, I guess these are my dragoons, as I want, but I can only build one every 3 turns. And each different unit has a different cooldown. And as we get further in the game and further in the balancing, there'll be some units that like have a really long cooldown, so you can't make them very frequently. There'll be other units that like maybe you can spawn a bunch of them, like the dragoons. So that's actually something we can play with. No, I didn't imply they invented it. I implied that they used it and everyone knows that reference. That's the thing. If you always go for the original reference, you're like, yeah, in this game that nobody ever played, nobody ever heard of, they used this feature that then later on Hearthstone used. And then, you know, maybe you get a little extra street cred, but you don't, you know, you don't really get your point across. All right. Oh, wait a minute, Ben. If you, this is yesterday's build. She's got that stupid shield, doesn't she? Alright, so when our coder programmed the shield, which is supposed to function more or less like the Divine Shield from Hearthstone, he decided it would be a cool idea that every turn your shield refreshed. Which means this chick right here who's got the shield, this Royal Thaumaturge, she can't be defeated now. I mean, if she stands right there, basically she's just going to kill anything that comes against her because I have to get something else that can fight her. Which I could go and attack her from the water with my amphibious squid if the water worked. I can bring these dragoons up, but that's not going to do me any damn good because I can't get through the pass to get to her because she's bottlenecked that pass. And because she's undefeatable, there's nothing I can do. I hate you, Ben. Wait, I wonder if I can do this. I wonder if this works. Because she should... No, she's not gonna die on that turn. I hate you, Ben. You've made my game unplayable. You should not have used her. I demand you go put her somewhere else. You're winning this game because of a bug, and that's cheesy. Now, as to the shield that refreshes, I have been throwing around the idea that some of these abilities that are sort of passive abilities, what I might do is change them into active abilities. So, like, for instance, maybe you have a shield ability, but to turn your shield on, you have to spend X amount of mana. And so, like, when the shield is attacked, it's destroyed like a normal shield, but for X amount of money, maybe you can turn it back on again. I was thinking that might actually be a fun way to do some of this a little differently than other games do, because we have this ability, we have this map, and I want the units to be more long-lived, I guess. What I think is fun in this game is not moving 1,000 units around, but having a few units that are interesting, that are treated a little more like the armies were treated in Kalasia, where like you actually care about them and you're worried about where they go and what they do. I think that may be more interesting. Alright, dragoons, get up there and do what you need to do. Alright, squid. Useless squid that won't get in the water. Useless land squid. Who made me a land... I'm so pissed off about my useless land squid. Did the units rank up? Right now, no. But... By the way, for those of you who don't know, that's Ben's very annoying dog. Ben's annoying dog is famous at BoomZap for joining every conversation sooner or later. All right, I'm gonna take those elves down. All right, let's see. You move up. You move forward. What do we got going on over here? Oh man, he's got his field artillery there. That's gonna be bad for me. Not happy with that as a choice in life. What is this thing? Oh, it's Carl. He's brought Carl into the battle. Actually, no. You hang back. You hang right there. And I think we need... Did I bring any... I got horse artillery. That's useless. What do I got for big artillery? I didn't bring a... Ah, that's where I screwed up. I didn't bring any, like, big, huge, massive artillery, which is a mistake on my part. I should have brought that instead of this useless squid. All right. Yeah, that's the thing. If we have too many units out, it takes longer to do the turns. It becomes a lot more sort of micromanagedy. And so instead, I'm thinking more to have it be that you're powering up your units with, we have lots of units that have buffs and things that you can do. One thing that we haven't got in yet, but we're going to be doing is that a lot of the structures will have buffs. So for instance, if you stop by the blacksmith, you'll get some improved weapons that give you some kind of buff, that sort of thing. So that way you end up having a sort of larger group of people. A dragon raid, says Dragon Slumber. Oh my goodness, we're being raided by people I don't know. Hey, people I don't know. Thanks for the raid. Welcome to us building a video game. I am right now trying to figure out and play multiplayer with Ben on our first multiplayer. He's got this big old field artillery unit. And you know what? I'm going to take that thing out is what I'm going to do. And then let's see. You, my dragoons, they have the ability to shoot things. So let's do that. Let's attack him as well. Let's bring you around the side. That's the beauty of you being a flying unit. Hello, streamer I've never met. Thanks for the host, Dragon Slumber. Let's see. What else have I got going on here? I've got... All right, so I've got this guy that I want to kill. I've got this guy here that could theoretically kill him. But the problem is, and I think this is a problem, Ben, we've got this armor ability that we gave to structures, and the armor ability basically means discount the first X amount of damage that you do to this unit, which means low attack units can't hurt them. And I'm not cool with that, so I think we need to rethink that particular bit of our game. Well, thank you very much. I think our game looks nice too. It's coming along. It's still very early in development, but it's coming along. All right, I got this stupid squid. Excuse, there's a lot of art that hasn't been done yet, so the squid doesn't have art. I promise you the squid will be cool later. And the squid doesn't swim, which is like, why we have a squid that doesn't swim, I don't even know. So, what am I doing here? I can't... So, Ben, here's the problem. If I attack up into that tower, we've got this armor ability that prevents X amount of damage from the top, which I think is a problem. I think that's a game design problem, because it means I can't do any damage, and I'm just going to keep banging up against your sharpshooters and die. Or I can go attack this bugged shield unit chick who has the undefeatable shield. It doesn't matter what I do. These guys are going to die. And I'm very pissed about that. I'm very angry right now. But that's alright. What's wrong with a squid that doesn't swim? I have elf vampires with chainsaw. Because I wanted the squid to swim. The whole point of him was I wanted to check out amphibious units. And we were supposed to have an amphibious unit today, and we don't. And I'm very sad about it. Alright. There. That's what I'm doing this turn. Yeah, so the thing with the elf, right? So what he's got going on right now, and there should be down here in the bottom some information that tells you that. We don't have that up and working yet. But we have the idea that a structure, this is the tower structure, and there should be information about the tower, but there's not yet. But if there were information about if there were information about the structure, you would see that the way the structure works is that structures provide an armor bonus, a fortification armor bonus. And the way that we, for reasons I'm not clear on right now, decided that the fortification armor bonus would work is that, let's say you had an armor bonus of 2, and it would mean that the first 2 bits of damage that are done to you each turn are disregarded. The problem is, it means that a low attack unit who has a very wimpy attack will never, ever, ever damage you. And so you can actually kind of cheat the game by just putting that guy right there who's got, and just say, well, you can't ever move me until you bring somebody with a huge attack in to do something about me. There's no ability for you to chip me down. And I think that's probably not a great way to do this. So I want to look at that particular piece of our design again and rethink it because I'm not happy with it. But I'll tell you what I am going to do right now, and that is I'm going to kill this stupid cannon because I'm not liking it. And you are going to... my dragoons are going to beat up on Carl some more. Hey, monkeys. Go beat up on Carl. By the way, these monkeys exist because my monkeys riding monkeys got killed. And when my monkeys riding monkeys got killed, they produce monkeys. So that's the good thing of the monkeys riding monkeys. They produce more monkeys. Monkeys. All right, back to... I got 22 out of 23. I can't summon anything. What other units have I got? Let's see. I got that guy who's not really doing very much. What else I got? Those guys all seem to be doing good stuff. I'm good. All right, I beat up on Carl again. I took his stupid infantry thing out, and you know what? I'm just gonna bypass him and go right back there. His militia. I'm actually getting beaten up by militia. Militia, really? That's embarrassing. Oh wait, I'm not. What actually happened? We don't have all the effects in. What actually happened here was Carl has the special ability that he can impress units, so he can, like, when somebody gets really low health, you can attack him with Carl, and Carl will turn him into a militia that you own. And so Carl just made a militia out of my troop, which I am not cool with. I'm not alright with that. That's alright. I'm going to kill Carl. Die, Carl. Alright, who else have I got? I got other units. Alright, Ben has essentially blocked me from ever doing anything there. So, screw that. I'm going around. Come on, Squid. What else I got? That's all my units. Yep, alright, off we go. Yeah, so Carl can press gang enemy soldiers, but only when they're really weak. Because it's got to be he does 2 points of damage, and with those 2 points of damage, he kills somebody. So he can only press gang the weak guys. Later, dragon. All right, so let's keep going around the corner here because Ben has made himself a little. All right, well we got him out of his hole, so that's progress. Let's squid him. Taste my squid, Ben. So I'm a little confused. I think there's a bug because I have not enough. I've had a bunch of units die, but my control has not come down. Ben, is that a known thing? I think that was a known bug from yesterday, no?
Yeah, it's a bug from yesterday.
Rawr. I think I've lost this then, because I'm losing all my units. And I still haven't managed to kill Carl. That's all I care about right now. I will kill you, Carl. Put up with your crap. All right. In other good news, I've made it to Ben's City. So that's a bonus. That's the sort of thing you like to see happen. And so to your earlier question, why would you not take over everything? Well, I would have had to stick around on that mine and take it over last turn, but I made the conscious decision that I would rather walk into his town and beat up his dudes in his town first. I thought that would be a better use of my time. So that is the reason why you would do such a thing. All right. Carl is now taking over my city, which I am not cool with. Screw you, Carl. Another thing that has not been added yet, but will be added later, will be while you're in cities and forts. Basically, what's going to happen is all of these various structures are going to have inherited traits. So let's say you go to an artillery tower. When you go to the artillery tower, even though the unit that you have doesn't have the ability to shoot artillery, when he's in the artillery tower, he'll have the ability to shoot artillery. So that will actually give you an ability that you didn't have before. And one of the abilities that most of the cities will have will be the ability to heal your unit slowly. So if you want, you can back up to your city and heal up one of your wounded units. That's one of the things that we will be adding in the near future. Come on, Squid. Have I thought about adding super weapons? I don't know what a super weapon is. They've been cool in CNC games and old school games with dislodged static defenses. So like I pick up a really huge weapon that I can use only once, that kind of thing. Is that where your head is at with this? All right, the sharpshooter's disappeared. Another thing that's weird on this build, and it's a bug, by the way, today, is they don't have visited fog of war. So there should be actually some black fog of wars out here, which is you've been there before, but you can't see it now. We don't have that in yet. Well, we had it in, and then we redid our fog of war, and we broke that. So it's the joy of constantly rebuilding stuff because you break it, which is part of development. That is part of the development process. How many people are on this team? I see this cutie and I know I've been. Well, thank you. So we've got the team right now. The company is BoomZap. The company is about, I think we're like 27, 30 people, something like that. On this team particularly, we have me. I'm the sort of creative directory type. We've got Ben, who I'm playing against right now, who's actually an animator and an artist. He does our effects, which is why the effects suck, because, you know, Ben. We've got Adrian from KL. Ben and Adrian are both in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Adrian is the lead programmer. We've got a couple artists. We've got Edwin and Erwin and June, and the three of them are all in the Philippines, and they're doing most of the actual 2D art in the game. So that's the team. So what's that? Me, Ben, Adrian, 3 artists. Me, Ben, Adrian, 3. 6 people. Plus, they've got support. So we've got Monica doing support for marketing and that sort of thing. And we've got, for instance, Alan, who's one of our, who's my business partner. He's doing some help technically as well. We've got JD, who's doing some technical. So there's kind of a back-end team. How much does it cost to make the game? Depends on where you are and how much you pay those people. So to get this game to final and to be done with this game, we're probably looking at another 6 months worth of work. We've been working on it for something like 6 months, so you're looking at a year. So how much do you want to pay 6 to 8 people for a year? And if you happen to be in San Francisco, that's a whole lot of money. If you happen to be in Manila, it's a lot less money. So you can kind of figure your math that way. In general, the question, how much does it cost to make a game, is kind of a nonsensical question, because it doesn't take into account the costs. And plus, you know, for me, what do I pay myself? Well, right now, I'm not paying myself anything. Deep secret. So that, you know, what is my time worth? So you kind of have that question as well. By the way, the J. Pielstrom, whatever guy who's answering, he's actually a coder on some of our other projects. He's a guy from New Zealand living in Manila. And so his answers are also valid. All right, I'm taking that tower. It's mine now. All right. How have I not killed Carl? Oh, I've not killed Carl because Carl's got that stupid armor defense. I'm sitting out here shooting on Carl, and not doing any. Carl! Okay, we gotta. Okay, that armor defense thing that we're doing right now sucks, and we need to figure out a better way to do that, because it basically makes people indestructible when they're against small units, and that's not cool. All right, let's see. What else have we got going on? All right, we're done here. Because Carl is awesome. Carl is awesome. I'm hoping for the Carl memes to come back. I'd like to be a resurgence of the Carl. I'd like to see that come back soon. There was a time in our studio where that became a big thing in our studio, and I don't know why, but we got really into the Carl for a while. All right, why do I have my little thing still pumping? Ben, end turn, dude. We don't have the code in right now to... What meme are you talking about? There were two Carl memes, right? There was one which was, and I think this predates you at BoomZap. There used to be a video where it was like there was a llama named Carl, and the llama named Carl was like killing people, and the other llama was like, Carl, stop killing people. Why did you do that? Right? There was that thing. And then later there was the Carl is a soldier, and every time like someone in the army does something stupid, then someone goes like, you know, Carl, why did you do that stupid thing? That's like the official American army name for guy who did something stupid. So there are two Carl memes, both of which have had some life here in our studio. There you go, the history of the Carl memes. All right, we have hit the point in this where things are so broken that this game is almost not playable. There's so many things wrong right now that I don't know what to do. I can't summon any more guys. But this is what we expected. So I'm gonna stop the multiplayer playthrough here because I think I've proven my point. We've got a lot of bugs. Some stuff that we need to fix before the next one. The crazy unbalanced shield thing. The crazy unbalanced, I'm in a fortress, and unless you do at least 6 points of damage to me, you can't touch me defense thing. Yeah, those two are the big ones. And then well, I can't summon any more guys because of my control. There's a bunch of stuff that we need to fix. And hopefully Ben and I will write it all down afterwards. But I hope everyone is excited to see real progress. I mean, this is 2 weeks ago we couldn't play multiplayer at all, and now here we are testing the game in multiplayer. We've got a bunch of new stuff, a bunch of new objects. I mean, I hope you guys are noticing our cool new buildings, by the way. Look at our cool little sawmill and our cool little mine things. This is we're actually, I think this style of building that we've got going here, we're going to be doing a lot more of things that kind of look nice and clean in this style, and less stuff that looks kind of gimpy like that. So we got a lot of stuff happening. See, there's the Fog of War trying to work. It's broken. There's another thing we have to fix. But there's a lot of progress. There's a lot of progress on this game. For 2 weeks, I'm very happy with what we've managed to get done. I think next week we're going to see a lot more progress again. Yeah, so I'm going to turn the game off for a minute. You can join me hurtling through space for... All right, there, I just got that out of my system. So while I hurtle through space, I'm going to go through chat for a moment and see if I can answer any questions. Monica, can you point me to any questions I missed? What have we got? So, how does one actually achieve victory in Last Regiment? That, my friend, is a damn good question. We're playing around with this right now. And the quick answer is victory points. So there will be victory points for capturing certain buildings, capturing certain cities, and that will play a role in having a victory. What we would like to do that we didn't do on Kalasia is allow people to set up games with some different victory conditions. So the victory conditions might be get X number of victory points. The victory conditions might be control this one building for X number of turns. The victory conditions might be capture the flag. There's a bunch of stuff like this that some of the old RTS games did that we thought were pretty cool, and we'd like to do some of that stuff. We just haven't gotten around to it yet. Obviously, one kind of victory that we can use is the sort of obvious, I took over everyone and killed everyone and took all of your stuff. As you can see in this, because we don't really have territory that you take over in the way that we did in Kalasia, that becomes kind of a little bit of a chase the guy around the map problem, which I think is maybe a little less interesting. I can't look at my hurtling through space anymore. I gotta go back to the last regiment close up. So that's that answer. That's coming, but I think it's actually interesting because I don't have a great answer to that right now. And you would think at this point that would be something that we had thought of, and you know, how do you win the game? That's a pretty basic part of the game. But I wanted to get a bunch of this stuff in and kind of see how the game played out before we started saying this is exactly what you want to do, because I wanted to make sure that what we were asking the player to do was what actually ends up being fun in the game. So we're still kind of working our way through that. But I think it's going to be victory points in the Kalasia sense, that you can win and lose victory points as you go through, as opposed to, you know, because there's two ways you can do a victory point system. One is I do things and I have a cumulative victory points that go up and up and up, and if somebody takes my tower back over, I don't lose those points. Or there's the Kalasia system, which is like, this tower is worth 5 points, so now I'm at 5 points. Somebody takes it back from me and I take those points away. I would think that the Kalasia system in this game is going to work better, because that gives somebody the ability to come in and take my victory away from me by saying, hey, you had all these victory points, but I took your tower and now you don't have them. And I think people found that to be interesting, as opposed to, hey, this guy's got 200 out of 250 victory points and there's nothing we can do to stop him. That kind of blows. So I don't know. We're gonna play that, or play with that. Other questions that we had. I don't see DR as an issue if you tweak the numbers right. Heavily armored people should be immune to weak attacks. As it's playing out right now, one of the key issues of this game is we've made the decision early on in the game to say that we can't have two units in the same spot. So let's go back to the map for just a minute. So if I look, for instance, at this unit here on this tower, there is no way for any unit to get past this guy and go up there or go down here without first killing that unit, right? And in fact, there's no way for my own unit to get past that without moving that unit out of the way. And this creates very sort of strong bottlenecks in the game. And I worry a little bit that if we create that kind of bottleneck, you know, this one space here, for instance, I'm going to go play with this map some because I'm uncomfortable with this space. Because this space, if you look, going here, there's only one way through there. Going here, there's only one way through there. Going up here, there's only one way through here. So it's actually quite difficult to bring multiple forces to bear here, right? The issue comes in, all right, let's say I've got a unit in this. I think you guys can see my pointer. Yeah, you can. Can you see my pointer? Does that show up? Yeah, it does. So if you're looking at this spot of forest here, if I've got a guy here that I want to attack that tower, and he's got too low of an attack, and I need to move him out of the way and move this guy in the way, I can't shift my guy over this guy and this guy over that guy. I literally have to move this guy down, move this guy back, now move this guy back up, and that kind of sucks. And so I think part of the answer is, well, we'll probably develop our maps a little better. You know, we're still just starting with map design, but I think we have to look at our map design so that the maps don't have so many one hex constriction points, so that I can maneuver a couple units around, because that's more interesting, because I want my units to be able to buff and interact with other units in certain ways. So that's one part of it. But another part of it is, I think, saying this unit can't ever do any damage because he only does 3 points of damage and this guy has an armor of 3. I worry that that's just not fun. And so it's something that I think we need to play with. And instead, I think what might be more interesting is armor adds like temporary health instead of it adding something else. But then we have to deal with, well, what happens when you step off of that unit or you step off of that structure? What is your health? What happens to your health now? There's a thing that has to be discussed there. So it's something we need to walk away and play with. But you know, part of this is it's a map design failure, and then part of it is, hey, this is where amphibious units and flying units are more useful as well. If, for instance, my stupid land squid had worked, I could have brought my land squid up here into this part of the map, and I could have fixed this problem by attacking with my big giant amphibious land squid, or I could have brought my Griffin Dragoons over here and flown over and done that. So there's a lot of stuff we have to think about here. So Merlin says, in fairness, I don't think you need to worry over much about the map design for the MP maps anyway. I'm sure you need to ship the game with some maps that aren't asked, but the community will build a crap ton of really cool maps. That's my hope. I mean, that's the whole point of building an editor is I'm a relatively decent map designer, but I'm certain there are better map designers out there. And I'm 100% certain that if this game gets any traction at all, some map designers are going to jump into this game and they're going to make way better maps than me. And so I'm actually spending a lot of time now trying to make sure that the editor is a really solid product so that we can make sure that people can get in, build those maps really easily. And like you say, I think very quickly the meta game of Last Regiment will be improved by having all of these maps that people are like, oh yeah, screw all the original Kalasia maps. They all suck. Chris doesn't know what he's doing. You should go play, Merlin's maps. He made all the good maps. By all means, that's my dream and my hope. So hopefully that happens. What percentage are you thinking